That's pretty nasty. Yep, good stuff. So, yeah, that's all right. It'll clean out. Would you look at that? There's a steering box in underneath all that goop and junk and stuff. So, that's incredible. I never even knew that was, I knew it was in there. Come on, you know that. But to start to get a look at that, it's pretty cool. So I want to just keep cleaning this up a little bit. I just set the head back on there to keep any, you know, debris or dirt or hay from dropping down into those cylinders for right now. I'm going to keep cleaning this tractor up for a little while, and while I still think about my best option moving forward for the rebuild. So, I just want to polish it a little bit. What I want to do. Wonder where that wire went to. We'll figure it out. So I've always had a little bit of throttle linkage slop in this tractor. It's never been a big deal, but I think most of it's right here. And if you look at the rest of this linkage, I mean, it's not super beefy. And then of course it wraps around to the front to the governor. But right here, where it's just through bolted into a piece of sheet metal. That's unexpected. That's a lot less well engineered than I expected on this tractor. Everything else, you know, is so beautifully cast iron, and just such a cool piece of equipment that's so well built. And then your throttle linkage is just, it's on the and it's even on the single layer, or right below it you've got a double layer, double thickness. I don't know. I wonder what the engineer was thinking when they designed that part of it. Granted, it is 70 plus years old. It's made it this long, but still, it's that close to being awesome, and instead it's just okay. Don't know how to get, there we go. Wanted to get the drive shaft out. With the drive shaft out, I can now lower this down a little bit more to a safer height. We can pull off the belt housing and take a look and see what's up, what we have underneath there. So that. One more. I think this one's. No. Almost. So close. There we go. Little grease. Put a little grease on that shaft and you'll never even know that someone was wailing on it with a hammer. Beating like a rented mule. Yeah, you can tell evidence is strong that I've got a leak in rear main seal. So we'll have to get the clutch off, get that flywheel off of there, and take a look at that rear main seal. Ooh. Oh, you guys, you got to get in here. Hold on. You got to get in here, guys. It might have been time for a little bit of... Oh yeah, look at that. That thing is just... Yeah. You know, we'll have to put a throwout bearing on the shopping list, won't we? That thing's chunky. You'd think with our leaking rear main seal, it'd keep that lubricated for you, but apparently not. You can see that throwout bearing. It's starting to wear these throwout arms on this clutch housing. They're in. I'm sure those extended out a good another 1/8 of an inch. So, but we can adjust for that. So as long as those are still functional, we're not going to do anything crazy like build those up with weld or anything stupid like that. But yeah, definitely saw an issue right there with that throwout bearing. I'd have just kept running this thing forever. I just didn't even notice. These things are loud, you know. You don't notice a few things like, I don't know, maybe 3 spun rod bearings and a throwout bearing that's absolutely seized up. Yeah. I don't think there's any getting around it. This clutch, it needs replaced or rebuilt actually. They don't, hard to find them. Places I've found want you to send your clutch disc in to get it rebuilt. So yeah, I'm having fun doing this, guys, because I get a look in here and see what kind of shape this stuff is really in. And it's in pretty rough shape. Boy, look at that flywheel though. That thing is massive. That's gorgeous. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. We got a exploded, what is that? My throwout bearing. Not my throwout bearing, that's your centering bearing. And that thing is just destroyed. Yeah, look at that flywheel, guys. There is, for as bad as that clutch is, this flywheel's in really good shape. Well, it's just because it's so massive and thick. That's 1 inch thick. I don't even want to pull it off. Well, at least it won't drop down on my foot, right? It'll get caught up in here in the tractor frames. But for a 28 horsepower tractor, that flywheel's incredible. Flat out awesome. Trying to pull the main crank shaft, crank nut, whatever that pulley nut is on the front of the crank off. And of course, I've already disassembled it so far. The crank was just spinning, so grabbed a piece of angle iron, drilled some holes, drilled them in the wrong place, of course. So then I took a chainsaw file, filed out the holes, got everything to match up, used an existing hole on the tractor to hold this piece of angle iron in place. Now I don't have the right size socket or even the wrench, but I do have the big old Harbor Freight Chinesium 2-foot crescent wrench and a nice cheater bar. With that, I was able to break this nut free. And oh, for crying out loud, let's try to do this with one hand, guys. I dare you. Look at that. I wonder what the torque specs were on there. So let's see, I had a 2 foot plus let's say another 1.5 foot, 3.5 foot, 180 pounds. So 3 times 180 is 540 foot-pounds of torque. I was kind of bouncing on that to get that nut to come free. So yeah, we'll call it. It had several hundred foot-pounds of torque on this pulley nut. And the whole time I was terrified that it could have been a left-hand thread and that I was just going to shear this thing off. So the fact that I didn't makes me pretty happy. So yep, that threads right into the crankshaft, I do believe. It's keyed right there. I now have to pull that pulley off. And I guess I better get that alternator out of the way and maybe get this fan out of the way as well. So I do have a 42 millimeter, no, inch and 11/16 socket on the way from Amazon. I measured this at about 41.5 millimeters, inch and 5/8, just barely over an inch and 5/8. So I went ahead and went with the inch and 11/16, and that should be close enough. And if it doesn't work, I'll either order a 42 millimeter or an inch and 5/8, maybe both of them. I just don't want to spend extra money I don't need to. But anyways, that's a lot of talking. I'm just happy I got that crankshaft, that pulley nut off. That's awesome. Now I can actually get this crank out and get the crank sent in to get it ground. And really, because I've been thinking about this. Well, I only work while I'm doing this, but I've been thinking about this build as I've been working on it, and what I want to do with it. And what I really want to end up with is something that will work with me for years. Something that I can just fire it up, run with it, and not have to worry about it for, you know, the rest of my life. This is a 72-year-old tractor. I don't know if it's been rebuilt before. I kind of suspect it has due to the goop right there. But still, a quality rebuild for the hours I'm going to put onto it would let this tractor last my entire life. And so that's kind of what I'm thinking of. I still want this to be a budget rebuild, but even though it's a budget rebuild, I want it to be a rebuild that is exceptionally functional. Now, I'm not saying that I want to rebuild this thing to its stock original glory. Okay, I would. I just don't see it in the cards. I haven't been able to find piston sleeves or new pistons for it. Best I could find is another 72-year-old motor or a 71-year-old motor. 72. What year did I say this was? Anyway, best I could find is a 70-plus-year-old motor. Got the sun coming in. I'll be right back. So the best I could find is either a new motor or a used motor for this. It's 70 years old. No idea what the internals look like. And I've seen a few pieces and parts on eBay. So some pistons. And so I could use some pistons and some rods. But without being able to measure those, I don't know what shape those are in either. So it makes it a difficult proposition when there's just no parts for this. There's just not enough tractors. There's not enough of these tractors that were built for there to be any kind of an aftermarket application, right? So, you know, I went on summit.com and looked at the pistons they have available, and none of the pistons they have available have nearly enough compression height. Same thing with the rods. The longest rods I saw on Summit were 7 1/4, somewhere in that range. When the rods on here, they measure from center to center on those eyes. They're 8 1/2. So that leads me down the path that I don't have all the choice that I want to rebuild this tractor to its full glory. So that means compromises will have to be made. You know, I might end up reusing even piston number 4, that ratty old piston, because new ones aren't available and used ones aren't going to be significantly better. Just squirting a little Freol in all of these, all those holes, and then I'll store the hardware where I can. Boy, so I'll probably have to use a puller to, okay, I think I know what I'll do. I'll thread that nut back in place. Let's see, so if I thread this nut back in place without cinching it down, I should be able to get a 3-jaw puller on this pulley and slip it right off. Shouldn't be too challenging. We'll give that a shot next. Let me stop talking, because this is about all the talking I can do. I'll pull off the alternator, get that out of the way, or at least get the belt off, and then we'll try to get this crank pulley off of here. Should be easy peasy. All right, I'm not sure. Well, we'll try this. Oh, look at that. I was worried. You just never know with this kind of stuff if it's going to take an act of Congress to get it to come free. But looks like it's sliding free with minimal fuss. All right, we're tightened up against the crankshaft nut, so let's pull that out a bit further. I'm not too worried about dinging up those threads in there at all, actually, because this is just sliding off nice and easy. Yeah, when you're working on old stuff like, you just never know what you're going to get. I think I can pull that nut out of there entirely and pull directly on the crank now. I don't think I'll have any concern of damage. Although that might be too deep. Oh man, hold on. Yeah. Let's see what we got. Oh yeah. All right. On this project, I needed a new tagline, right? But yeah, we can go ahead and pull off the flywheel and take a look at the rear main seal. What time is it? Although it's getting time, it's getting late. It's almost quitting time. It's not late, but I tell you what it almost is it's almost family time. And so with it being, that's important. So I don't know how much longer I'm going to be out here today. Tell you what I'll do though. We'll go ahead and pull off, think about pulling off this flywheel. That'll give me a good stopping point. It'll be a good place to stop the video. So give me a minute. Let me pull this fixture out of the way and break some bolts loose. There we go.
In this toolbox that you need?
Nope, no tools out of that toolbox that I need.
No? Okay.
There we go. Don't climb on the haystacks, you'll get hay down your boots. Those are the wrong boots to climb on the haystack, okay? Okay. You don't want to get hay in your boots because they'll be really itchy. Oh yeah, and we've got a part number on there. We might be able to find this seal. Find the seal and drive it in here, or maybe not, we'll see. Well guys, I think that's enough for the day. I got a part number on that rear main seal. I'll be able to pull this crank out at a later time. And but for now, sun's going down. It's time to go inside, eat some dinner, spend some time with my family, with my great kids and my beautiful wife. So I'll talk to you guys later. I'll catch you on the next video. Thanks for watching.